I welcome you all to the classes, and this is our first demo session. And from tomorrow, we are going to start with the classes with SSIs. Well, so before I go ahead and start with MSBI demonstration, I would like to tell about myself, and then so that you have an idea where I'm coming from. So basically, I've been into MSBI since a long time. I have supported for clients like SunTrust Bank, Home Depot, there in US in Atlanta market as well, and have provided them end-to-end solution with MSBI. We have given the projects not only in the implementation part of MSBI, but also from scratch development, which also talks about the major error handling framework. So what I will be doing is, after I do the SSIS training with you guys, I would also give you the advanced concepts and then the project what we have given to Motorola as end-to-end business. So with that said, let us first go ahead and check what is MSBI basically. See, MSBI consolidate of three different modules. The modules are SSIS, SSRS, and SSAS. So what exactly is SSIS? What exactly is SSRS and AS? So what happens is SSIS is majorly used as an ETL tool. So what do I mean by ETL tool? Is it's kind of extraction of data and doing some kind of manipulations according to the business requirement. So whatever the manipulations are, irrespective of the changes, what you see from the business end, we're going to do that in SSIS. And then, let's say there is a requirement, you have to extract different kind of file systems. Files can be in Excel files, it can be flat files, it can even be images. You have to extract those files and load it into your SQL server, let's say, for an example. So what we can do is we can use this SSIS. Just one module is enough, not all modules, just this SSIS part can be used to do the extraction, as well as, let's say, while extracting you're getting nullable records, or while extracting you want to divide the records based on some conditions. So these are called transformations. So after extraction is nothing but you have to configure the file system where exactly your landing place are. So you are going to configure the source, and then you are going to configure the transformations as well. So when we talk about a transformation, just for a small example, let's say you want to remove nullable records. That is one transformation. So that transformation can be also configured, and then loading it into destination. So how to work on in real time, what happens basically in real time, it is not just one file which is to be configured. Dynamically you have to change the files from the file location. This is what the project, most of the cases we look in MSBI cases, how to do dynamic configurations in SSIS. So each and everything will be discussed in great details, and we have a very good SSIS syllabus. Let me quickly open it and show you so that you are aware of what topics we are going to cover in this SSIS module, so that you have a pretty much good understanding. See, these are all the topics what we are going to cover in SSIS. So 110% it is going to cover. Either you are facing an interview, few people may be facing some kind of interviews on SSIS, and few people may be stuck in working on the job process. So let me tell you guys, so this syllabus is end-to-end syllabus in SSIS. Okay, and then if you are going through all of our syllabus, and once you are done with basics and advanced concepts, I'm going to develop a real-time project. Which was into image and capture department of one of the banking domain I have supported, and then it's going to also hold a real-time error handling framework. The whole set of framework I will be explaining you, and for me to explain this set of framework, it will easily take 3 hours. 3 hours just to explain. So with that said, it's going to be a very good project, an interesting project, and I can bet that if you are good in this project, irrespective of the projects you come across in real time, you would be able to easily handle, because this project is going to have a lot of complexities, a lot of expressions, a lot of things. But you know, till the time we come into the project, you will be aware of all the concepts, so that you will feel the project is very easy for you to understand and to work on. So this is the SSIS syllabus, what we will be looking into. Right, so that is all about SSIS, guys. We are trying to extract, transform and load. See, extraction can be, okay, give me 1 second. Okay, in the source, not only file, these are file systems. These are files, you know, different files, text files, Excel files, Access files, and these are configured and are loaded into SQL Server in one of the scenario. Maybe in another of the scenario, it is transferred from SQL to different file systems. So what do I mean by this? I mean your source can be anything, and your destination can also be anything. So it depends on requirement. What exactly do they need? Do they need source as flat files? If yes, then we can connect to flat files and load it in. Again, if they need flat file to flat file transformations with some kind of transactions in between, we can also do that. So this is how SSIS is going to help us in basically getting ahead and configuring and transforming the things. So that is what all about SSI. So what is the purpose of loading majorly into databases? Most of the cases, guys, about 80% of the time you would see transformations from file systems to databases. And the reason behind it is basically when you talk about file systems, there is a, let's say, business analyst or project manager in your company. Okay, when he is analyzing about files, you know, let's say there is a retail company here in India, let's say it's Reliance Smart, or there in US it's Heritage. Now what is happening in Reliance Smart, there are transactions being happened for every day, let's say about 10,000 transactions every day. So to analyze those 10,000 transactions, if he is directly going into files and trying to analyze, then there are lots and lots of issues which business will face. The issues are like, how do I manage document? So what do you mean by that? Let's say today there are 10 files holding 10,000 transactions. So overall 1 lakh product got sold overall in India. So how is he going to maintain his documents? So documents maintenance and management is going to be a headache to the business. And then how to maintain its security. So these are stored in drives, file systems. So, you know, security is very less. Anyone can hack your systems. Anyone can hack your file systems basically. So security is also a big thing. And representation of data. If you suppose you are having it in files, let's say text file, how are you going to represent the data? What do you mean by representing the data? We will see in our reporting services, SSRS. So the data is represented in different GUI so that business can understand, okay, if it is in red color, okay, the sales is very less in this country. So that kind of representation is very tough when you are going with file system. And how about searching the documents? Let's say you have 10 files within 1 day, and about 10 days you have 100 files. Within 1 month, maybe you have 300 files. So guys, how complex it is to search for one product sales in a month, in 1 month. So it is going to be very complex when we are going with file. That is the case. What we do is we use SSIS from any kind of file systems and we transfer it to SQL Server. So once we transfer it to SQL Server, so what is the use of getting the data into SQL Server is security wise, it is very much secure. You can provide which user can log in into the SQL Server. You can eliminate the unwanted users you want to give the accesses on. You can provide different kind of security levels. And then after providing the security levels, what you can do, if business want to analyze, boss, I need to know what is the sales happened for this product in 1 month. So how are we going to deal with this? We are going to write an SQL query inside SQL Server. One simple SQL query is going to give the solution to the business. So the headache of representation, the headache of security management and searching of any kind of things is being removed when we dump it into SQL. So most of the cases, since MSBI is the Microsoft product, SQL will already be implemented in it. Okay, SQL Server is also a Microsoft product. So once he buys the SQL, then only he is going to get SSIS and SSRS and SSAS, guys. So what do I mean by this? Simple demonstration that business, if he wants to analyze, now he is trying to analyze based on one product. Tomorrow he can try to analyze based on next product. So we can even make dynamic operations according to business needs. And then what is the use? Business is not going to business. Whenever I say business, that means as MSBI developer, I am responsible of my project work to deliver. So to whom I am delivering? To the clients, to the end user. So that is where I am referring as the business. So business tomorrow can, change the product name and tell you to give the answers. So you can make it dynamically. No need us to pass the parameter. Business can itself pass the parameters and get the reports. So, business is not going to look into SQL Server. They don't understand SQL queries. They even don't want to see the table formats. So that case, what are we going to do? We are going to generate different type of reports on top of your SQL Server and going to provide it to the users. So this will help the users or the business or the owner of the companies to understand where does my sales lies in this year, which products in this year were in good sales, so that I can buy those products in high demand, and the products which were in less sales, I would eliminate those buyings. So this helps the business improve. Getting it? So therein where SSIS and SSRS will come in. So with that said, there are a lot of things which will come in as, into play, but then, you will see most of the cases in companies, there are a lot of existing processes, in database, how to work with database, each and everything we are going to look into great detail. So in our module, we are not only going to look in with these three simple things, like SSIS is one of it, SSRS is one of it, SSAS is one of it, right? But apart from this, we are also going to look with SQL Server. Right, guys? So now you understand where does SSIS and SSRS comes in. How about SSAS? What happens is SSAS is majorly used to improve the performance. The kind of two techniques you can develop in SSAS, you might not be able to develop it in SQL Server. So what are those techniques? How does basically performance improves when we work with SSAS? So what are different type of tunings steps we follow in SSAS? Each and everything will be discussed in our classes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a manual example how basically SSIS is going to help us. SSAS is going to help us in improving performance. See, basically there is one server of SSAS. Okay, I'm telling that SQL, when compared to SQL, SSAS will improve the performance. Let us see how does it improves manually. When we go into the classes, we will see this everything in great detail. So guys, this is, let's say, water time. Okay, I'm just giving you a manual example to make you understand how actually SSIS is going to improve the process. And it is going to SQL, let's say, it's going to load the whole water into the water warehouse. Let's say about 1 hour of time. It is taking 1 hour of time. Now let's say there is SSIS configured. Okay, and it is also having same kind of technique of loading. And here also same level of water, same quantity is going to drawn down into the water warehouse. Now, if this is the technique used in SSIS, obviously it is going to take 1 hour. But I'm not going to use this technique. I'm going to implement more techniques. Like I'm adding one more pipe. I'm adding one more pipe. I'm adding one more pipe. So what will happen? What do you think? One pipe loading the water into water warehouse will take 1 hour. How about 4 pipes? At one time, it is loading the whole water. So maybe about 20 minutes. So these kind of techniques are called partitioning techniques, aggregation techniques, performance improving techniques. So different type of techniques we can provide in SSIS, and we can help the performance to increase. What is the use of performance increase? In the sense, when a reporting server is going to trigger SQL and get the data, let's say there are millions and trillions of records in this SQL server. So it is taking about 1 hour of time to extract the report. So business is not going to wait 1 hour, boss. Business is not going to wait for 1 hour. So what are we doing? We are performing few things on SSIS, and from SSIS the reports are getting generated about just in 20 minutes of time. So with that said, we have improved the performance, and we will see one small demonstration how to connect on top of SSIS the reporting service. So this is all about just a demonstration, simple understanding of MSBI. Now let us see in our classes what are we going to look at. So firstly, we will look into SSIS. So SSIS, what we will look? We will start with the basic concepts, and then we will jump into advanced concepts, and then we will look into each of the interview questions. So interview questions, whatever I say interview question, about 80% of the time you're going to face those interview questions in interview panel, because most of the interview questions are repeated questions. So here basic advanced interview questions, and then I will show you the project, which is more than enough to crack any type of interview, and real-time error handling framework. Right, so these many things will be consolidated into SSIS. When we come with SSRS, everything is same. So every module will hold these 3 different things. In each module, I'm going to say, boss, this is an interview question, this is an interview question. So at runtime, you're going to have those in your node. And then I will also be providing you separate documents of interview questions. Also, you will be seeing different documents from my side, which will be articulative of all the subject areas. So that means for SQL, you will be getting scripts of SQL. Then you will be getting SSIS document of each and every how to configure things in written, apart from these videos. And then you will also be getting SSRS documents. And then you will also be getting SSAS document, which will have how to configure, whatever we see in classes, you would be able to see in those documents, so that it helps you to, whenever you are stuck while practicing, you can do it again by seeing this document. And plus, with this, you will be provided with video sessions or video recordings of our daily classes. And then I will also be giving daily scripts or packages if we are working with SSIS, and then you will also be given with assignment, daily basis assignments or topic wise assignments, which are very important so that you brush up with your skills. So this is all about MSBI, guys. And if we go into the subject, so this is the subject. In each of the module, we are going to see the important topics and mostly used topics in SQL Server. And even there are a lot of things which are not used, but then we will also discuss so that it is into your alley. Basically, things starting from the basics, how does object and how does databases looks like, what are different data types, what are aggregation, then we will go into advanced, then we will see advanced concepts into the questions. So in SSIS also we are going to start from the basics as a beginner level. See, to basically attend these demo sessions or take these classes, it is not important that you should come from a technical background. Even a non-technical guy, even a fresher who just got passed out of his college can understand my training very well, because I am going to go in detail and very slow and from the basics of the each module. So please do not get panic with whatever I am showing right now, because each and everything will be discussed in great details. So here it is. With analysis, I am going to show you all of these concepts.